What's good, everybody? It's Kahlief here, and I have some great, amazing news. A game that I have been waiting on for a long time and have been dying to play. I finally got some hands on with from Ebb Software, the game that it blew up my mind when I got a chance to see it first on the Xbox Showcase. Scorn is a banger. I am very excited for this game, super hyped for it. And let's talk a little bit about what I got a chance to play. So, really excited about everything that was in the preview. The wonderful folks from Kepler sent over a code so that I could check out the game early. The preview was about 45 minutes long of a prologue portion of the game where you're starting to learn not only about the setting that you're in, but also a little bit about the mechanics of the game, which actually a lot different than I expected for a game like this. I initially thought that this game was going to be a shooter, but although it has shooting in it, it is not a shooter of that kind of ilk that we usually think of in that genre. It's not exactly a thing where you're going to be walking through, corridors like a Doom or something like that and shooting a whole bunch of enemies. It feels like you're using the weapons that you have. And the one that there was only one in the preview that we got a chance to play around with. Those are more about moving around the space, kind of keeping baddies away from you, making sure that you keep yourself safe, while also having some kind of puzzle opening elements to parts of the game. The initial part of the Scorn preview was really puzzle heavy, which was something I didn't expect. That was something that I thought I was going to go in guns blazing. It was going to be something I'm going to be blasting stuff in that way. But it was really interesting in the fact that those puzzle elements brought together what I think is one of the coolest parts of this game. And if you are a fan of horror, if you're a fan of gross stuff, if you're a fan of weird, funky, biomechanical, Geiger-esque stuff, Scorn is going to be the game for you. I know that there have been a lot of comparisons to the Geiger stuff that we see in the Aliens franchise and things like that. And I think that a lot of those comparisons are extremely apt. I think that they really lean into some of the grossness that you find in spaces like this, where you're finding all these deformed bodies. You yourself are this kind of analog for the space itself. Feels like you're connected to it in this weird way because you're dropped in and you have no idea what's going on. There's no dialogue in the game, so a lot of the game is storytelling is told through the actions that you wind up doing. And in my 45 minutes that I took to play the preview, it starts to really wrap yourself around and say, oh, wow, where am I? What is this place going to be? What are some of the things that I'm doing? There are moments where you're messing around with like really gross entities that are in the space alongside you, and you having to use some of those things to not only progress, but you having to, manipulate those things. And I use that word manipulation in a way that doesn't sound too rough, but you're messing some stuff up when you're moving some of these items around to give you that maneuverability around the space. There was one portion where very specifically I had to take this egg, and this egg wound up becoming this being, and this being I had to put in a couple of different machines to basically rip it apart so that I could use different sections of its body to get across some parts of the landscape. That was wild. It was cool. It was really interesting. I like how they're playing with ambiance. I love how they're playing with sound. I love how they're playing with all of those, again, those really yucky, gross, wet feeling areas and the squishiness that you get in a game like this. It feels like, you know, the folks who were behind this game absolutely were digging into their horror bag history when they came up with the premise for this game and the ideas around it. Like, I'm getting vibes of Hellraiser. I'm getting vibes of Event Horizon. I'm getting vibes of Alien. All of those things mixed into that space alongside what seems to be this wild ship that you're in and this wild space that you're in. It really brought together why Scorn is still one of my really, really anticipated games of the year. It's dropping in October. I believe October 21st is the date for the game. Let me triple check and make sure. Yep. October 21st is when the game is going to drop. It's going to be on Xbox Series X and S, Windows, Steam, Epic Store, and GOG. So make sure you're checking out the game there. We'll be doing some more stuff alongside the game coming up with some more gameplay to show, and we'll be streaming some of it as well once I get back from a couple of my trips. So make sure you're checking out all the stuff that we're doing here on Spawn on Me, and also make sure you're checking out for Scorn Game, because it is by far one of the coolest, grossest, most yucky games that I've played in a long time, that looks beautiful, but also makes me want to wash and take a shower right after I play it. So super good stuff. Thank you again to our friends over at Kepler. Shout out to the folks over at Ebb Software for making such a dope game that feels like it's made for me and my horror love. So excited about that. Here's some more gameplay to check out, and we'll see you later with more stuff coming to you from Spawn on Me. Much love. Peace.